Welcome all, it's Gerald Clark on January 3rd, 2020. And tonight I'm with my good friend Ian Jacklin, who's got some really fantastic information that he's not only shared with me, he's been sharing with everyone else. And I figure it's time we touch base and expand this to a broader audience. And what a great guy. I've watched him for several years and he's got quite a story to tell. So pay attention to Ian. Otherwise, he might throw an outer crescent kick right to your mandible, right? Okay. Hey,
Hey,
Ian,
man.
say hello to everybody.
Hi, everybody. It's a true honor. The only reason why I don't like being on this show is because now I can't be watching this show because I'm usually out there with you watching Gerald. Anytime he's on, I'm watching him. So, I mean, all the guys, Rex and Jay and Matt and Jeffrey, I love them all. I love you all. You're my new tribe. I've graduated from the martial arts, crazy kickboxing arena and martial art movies and all that. And so my story is going to lead up to how you and I are now talking right now. And
Yeah.
it's amazing because my final project that I'll be working on, hopefully with you guys, is called Space Cadet. Because once I started listening to you, some of my friends sort of made fun of me as like I'm a space cadet because I believe in UFOs or whatever. You know, not everybody's as awake as some of us are. So I decided to call my movie Space Cadet. But we'll get to that. That's way in the end. Way in the end.
Yeah. Hey, can I share the screen and go to like your Facebook page and share with some people about you
Sure.
just a little bit? Is that okay? I bet there's a
Yeah.
couple of things I wanted to play with this sharing function, like
Yeah.
drawing little molecular diagrams and pH scales and things like that with you. So I was goofing around with that a little bit earlier, and it seems pretty. I don't know. It seems pretty easy. Let me see if I can share
Yep.
the screen.
Yeah.
With,
I just started learning all that on Zoom myself. I've been watching you and Rex and everybody and Jeffrey. I love how Jeffrey's got his green screen and he can make the background look really cool. But I've been doing the same thing as you guys. You know what I love about this kind of reporting is it's honest, it's truthful. I don't know if I could trust anybody that puts makeup on to, get out and tell the news anymore.
I know.
I like listening to people in their bedroom. So,
Hey, this is Ian's page on Facebook. While you're talking about that, the other thing is if you want to be how's my audio? Am I okay? Am I close enough?
Yeah,
okay.
You're very good.
If you want to be a news reporter these days, you got to be a beggar too. Oh, you got to go visit me on Patreon and this and that and support me. Otherwise, I won't be here for you. I'm independent. I'm independent. I mean, watch any other news channel that's been an established dinosaur media. Imagine they were running the NPR begging for money every single show to do the news. So it kind of starts wearing on you after a while. You're like, I don't want to do that. Okay. Don't solicit me for money every single time I want to watch a news clip. So it's getting a little out of control as far as that goes. But here you introduce yourself as an author, a filmmaker, a health coach, an activist, an actor as well, and a kickboxing champ. So, so you're all over the place, huh?
Yeah,
love some of your pictures. Yeah, as a matter of fact, some of the fighter spirit that you've had in demonstrating how to get to this book and the other things that you've done kind of came through. How much of this fight background helped you stay the course and be disciplined and honorable and all that? Just so I know.
Pretty much all of it. It all stems from a good base. And my master, Ralph Chinnick from London, Ontario, Canada. I took professional self-defense studios. I went to the professional self-defense studios, and I just right away I learned the honor and the respect thing. And of course, I was a huge fan of Bruce Lee and all the fighters, that could take care of themselves. Because one thing I learned young was I didn't like bullies. I really didn't like them. And so, I remember I was in kindergarten, and this one kid, his name is David, and he was mentally challenged, severely mentally retarded. And he was getting picked on by these kids. And I was so young myself. I might have been kindergarten or something around there. And I just noticed that I didn't even see what they were doing at first. I saw how happy they were. They were so happy. They were having so much fun. I wanted to join in what they're doing. And I saw what they were doing was beating up this other kid. And this kid, you could tell, wasn't normal. He looked like that poor little guy in the Trailer Park Boys, Bubbles. He kind of looks like a baby Bubbles, you know. He had the thick glasses and everything, and so I just. That's when I realized there was good and evil in the world, and I chose good right in that moment because I liked that feeling. I felt the Luciferian energy that they had picking on that little baby child or retarded child, and I just didn't like it. And so I wasn't big enough to do anything at that time. But I remember I befriended him as I got bigger. I protected him. Me and my friends started protecting him when we could. So I learned from a young age there's the right and the wrong, the black and the white, the right, you know. And I knew what side I was on. So the martial arts just was perfect for me because I'm almost always the toughest guy in a room. It's not to brag or anything. You know, we go out in the regular, not so much these days because of Gracie Jiu-Jitsu's everywhere. So it just depends on what rank they are. And I'm only a blue belt. So, but you know, I could go anywhere and feel strong. And that's one of the best things you can have. And then to also be able to protect other people. That's when I realized what I was. I was a jock. I was a sports guy. You know, I was really good at all that. School was I had to work hard to get good grades, which I did get them, but I had to work hard for them. Mm-hmm. So, but basically that's what got me into it was I saw another bully story was my friend in grade 9 got beat up in front of me and I got held back and I saw her get beat up and there's nothing I could do. So right then and there, I went into my next class, and I think it was the first day of grade 9, and I actually in H.B. Beale Secondary School in London, Ontario, one of the desks I scratched in, never again. And I went, I said, Mom, you got to put me in karate. So I got put in karate right away, and I just took it very seriously. I listened to I'm a good student. I listen well. That's why I picked up on your stuff so quickly.
You are a good student. I noticed that about you. I hope I'm not interrupting to give you some accolades.
No.
You're persistent. Whenever your position gets challenged, you're level-headed and you come back and use reason and treat it as only a stopping place in your dialogue. You've done all those things. I've watched, and it's moved you. Wow. It's moved you along to a place where we can have this kind of dialogue, I think.
Yeah. Wow, man. Did you guys hear that?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I was just like you. I was raised in a situation, if I can tell this just briefly, okay? This is about you.
I want to interview
this interview is about you, okay, tonight, not so much about me. But I had some rough brothers. I grew up in kind of a remote area where it was kind of like the other side of the tracks, if you will. And fighting was something you just did all the time. Yeah, it wasn't it wasn't any big deal. And I was like you. I got picked on by my brothers because I was much smaller. But after a while, I was like, no, you didn't do that no more. And then extended that to bullies. So whenever I saw a bully acting out some way, I was completely willing to mess them up real bad and get thrown out of school for it, you know. But I was the one always willing to do that. I have no idea why. I'm lucky I even made it through school. At least 4 or 5, 6 times in junior high, elementary. Lots of fights. Mm-hmm.
Well, there's natural born killers and there's natural born saviors, and we're the natural born saviors. You know?
Yeah. Well, lucky for me, I had really kind of extreme athletic talent, and the coaches recognized that and had me in every sport possible that they offered in that region. And I was kind of like I don't know. I was very gifted, okay, athletically, but I was also very gifted as a fighter. I found out by the time I was 19 or 20, I was in Chuncheon, Korea, and I started studying Kung Fu from the locals. And it kind of just stuck with me from then. It never really went away. I was like you. I wanted to be confident in any situation that I had to be. And I wanted to use it for defense. I wasn't really interested in starting fights or anything like that once I was that age. So.
Yeah, that's interesting. I've wondered, because I'm one of your biggest fans. I've listened to so many hours of your radio, and I know you're in the martial arts and in the military and all that. So I knew you got me. We got each other right away. I remember the first time you responded to one of my things. And I'll tell you what it felt like. It felt like because I also boxed. I was a boxer for a while, and I was in the light heavyweight stable of Lennox Lewis, who won the gold medal. You know, he's the guy that he controlled the 90s. He beat Tyson in the end. So, that was just another part of my my story was the martial arts, the boxing,
So how did
And
you go?
I'm not sure.
How did you go from that space to stumbling into somebody writing about alternative origins, like what I wrote about with the Anunnaki? How did that happen?
Well, during my acting career, I was also finally I got to be a pretty good actor. I studied Joanne Baron method acting. You know, it was a 2-year program, and I was doing theater as well. I got good, just like I did a fighter. I chose to be good at acting, and
Mm.
this girl behind me was talking about how she just cured herself of cancer, and the UCLA doctors are blown away, and blah blah blah. I look back and I see it's this girl, Cynthia Brooks, very talented actress. I've known her for many years,
Uh-huh.
and I said, "You can't cure yourself of cancer. You just," I'm thinking, you know, they're actors. They're always looking for attention, and
Sure.
so you're thinking of give me the gears. But sure enough, you know, we became in closer friends, and she explained the whole thing to me. And I made a movie called I Cure Cancer, which is free on YouTube right now. I think you can buy it on you can buy it on my website, which is
Uh-huh.
Amazon. Sorry, archangelstudios.org.
What year was that?
That was 2003. I started shooting it, and it was out by 2006. But she told me about it in like 1996 or something like that. I can't remember exact year the play, but so for 4 years, it was rolling through my head. I remember 2000, year 2000, we made it, you know, and so I kept rolling with it, and I started shooting part 2 because even though I Cure Cancer 1 teaches you can cure cancer. You don't get cancer, you do cancer. All you got to do is stop doing cancer, and you won't
That's
have
right.
cancer
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah, yeah. I read through the important parts of your book that you gave me, I Cure Cancer.
Yeah.
Very, very, very astute, very to the point. Um, very helpful knowledge for people who are looking for a pragmatic way to do exactly what you just said.
Wow. Thank
It's
you.
really, really up to us, isn't it?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Thank you. That's a very nice thing to say. I
Mm-hmm.
worked hard on that, and I'm glad I put it into a book too. I put it in a movie. In the movie, it came out 2006 in New York, and then I had DVDs, just, you know, as much as I could. But the movie basically shows that it really brings up how Western medicine, who it's run by, and this is what gets me to you eventually, is the Rockefellers to the Rothschilds to the Anunnaki. That's how
Oh,
why
is
I'm
that?
still.
Wow,
That's why.
what a circuitous route. You came through the health industry to the
Yeah.
top of the Illuminati, and I came through ancient origins, I guess. Huh.
Yes, dude. And when I saw you and I found you, I was like, finally, unless everybody else, all your fans are the same way. Like we needed somebody to tell us what we knew. The game was rigged, but we had to learn why and all this, because we just couldn't take it anymore.
Well, we were operating
And
under the assumption as normal guys that the Hippocratic Oath meant something. A doctor was there to heal you, and blah blah blah. What a joke! They haven't been in that game since
horrifying.
1969.
I was horrified when I found out. My documentary was to prove that these quacks that were saying that cancer was curable using holistic methods, they were quacks. They're idiots. There's no way those guys are smarter than my doctor. I know my doctor has a white coat and he's got that thing on the wall. So
Yeah,
and
that
so I
really
started.
matters, doesn't it? You ever grill one of those guys to see what they know?
Oh, they get mad. My last doctor,
Very
he
defensive
couldn't even be
because
my doctor.
I don't think the standards in med school are worth a crap from what I saw. And there was a
No.
med school at UCSD, and I watched these boneheads going through this thing, going, these are going to be the doctors of the future? Way okay.
It's so sad. 10 years of horrible teaching for nothing.
Yeah, it's not
and
the
I
kids'
destroy
fault.
them all.
It's not the kids' fault. It's the institution's fault for what they chose to do to them. For sure.
Exactly.
I know.
Same as what the military industrial complex does. Well, that's why we're great friends now, because we found out who they are. The Rothschilds are the ones that are causing the problems, pretty much. So that's how I got from making a movie about how cancer is curable if you stay away from your Western medical doctor and do some holistic. You got a good shot, because you just have acidosis.
Yeah. How'd you get from the Rothschilds to the Anunnaki Council and that stuff? How did you? What connected you to the red shield of the Rothschilds to Marduk, for instance?
Okay, we can jump right there. Well, thanks for listening to all your stuff, and then a lot of others, everybody else's
Well,
out
I'm just
there.
real curious how far you got, because there was more to me than, because I wasn't studying cancer. I was doing structural integration and a few other holistic things that cross over with the healthcare industry that you were working in. And yeah, I'd been a martial artist and played around, and we had sponsored some people in the One Championship. Do you know what that is? The Asian competition.
I don't think so.
Oh, it's absolutely huge. It's even bigger than the UFC. Anyway,
Oh,
we sponsored some Zach to represent us over in that for a while. He thought he was going to build a platform and be able to talk to people about where his head's going and where his heart's at. And I think he's still doing some of that. But so from that standpoint, I was still kind of in the fight game. But from where I'm at right now, 56, I'm lucky to continue to be able to doing yoga and keeping myself structurally integrated and not hurt myself, because I did a bunch of crazy things, probably like you, that really injured myself, that I didn't know for a very long time. Some of the things that I did, especially in the triathlons and things like that.
Yeah, and we'll get into that when we switch to the health section. I have some notes for you about that, because we can make you feel like you did in your 20s again. I'm living proof of it right now. So we'll get to that part.
How old are you right now? You're 50, what, 52?
51.
Oh, you're 51.
51.
Okay. So yeah, I'm only 5 years older than you are.
Okay, yeah, we just got to tweak. You're good, been doing the vegan thing. That's great, but there's some tweaks you can, because vegan's not good enough. Vegan's not good enough. You can't be having pineapple and apples and bananas and all that sugar. That's the same as eating candy bars, because we live on electricity, which comes from dark cruciferous vegetables. So once we switch our diets more geared towards that,
so
then,
you would. I don't know how technical to be with this kind of stuff. Did you read the book The Zone by Dr. Barry Spears? Or
no,
Sears?
No, I don't think so. No.
Oh, that book really kind of set the standard for me in terms of chemicals and distribution and processes in the body, because he was like a lipid researcher. He was pretty heavy into that shit. I mean, to that stuff. And so I'm still a bit confused about how it is that suddenly the 40-30-30 split that he had in his diet, 40% carbs, 40% protein, 40% non-saturated fat, how that, if you follow that, and it's different for every person, I think, how that could lead to an imbalance in your alkalinity. Because natural carbs, when their glycemic index is okay, they don't shoot off the insulin response, and they get absorbed, and you need a regulated amount of sugar in your blood, not too much, not too little, right? So all of a sudden, it sounds like from this alkaline standpoint that sugar is the enemy, and even natural sugars from fruits, and that makes a vegan go, "Ah, what are you talking about?" Okay, just so you know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when I first went vegan, it was bad enough. I had to go vegan just because of my mental state. And then all of a sudden, I find out I got to drop coffee too. I got to drop, my berries. I mean, of course, this is for a cancer diet, though. This is for
yeah. Well, let me ask you this: were you measuring your pH and going, "Okay, this is what it is right now, and I got a target I got to get from this 6.3 where average people are. I got to get over here to 7.4 where everything's cool." Is that what you were doing?
That's exactly what everybody.
And how long did that process take for you?
It took just a couple of months, because I went vegan right away.
Yeah.
And we can do it even quicker now with the supplements, because this stuff. Dr. Robert Young is the guy I've teamed up with recently, and he's from the pH Miracle. And this is like 4 different salts, all thrown in one. The super chlorella, there's different things. Condense it, so it's like 100 to 1. Like a normal spinach leaf is 100 times more powerful, and you only need about that much in your water. And
we're gonna start this and do this, and maybe we'll document it for you. We got to get our little strips and our pH things and stuff, but we're gonna do this because for us to cut out coffee is not a big deal. If we thought it was impacting our alkalinity such that we couldn't be as healthy as we could be, I mean, that's no big deal. So there's
Me
little
too.
things, little tweaks we're willing to do, and we'd like to see how fast we can make it happen, because we've been vegan for 10 years. We're living a very clean diet. We don't eat
Yeah,
sugar other than stevia. Uh, you know,
right.
so
But I mean, if only there's hardly any fruits on the alkaline chart. There's avocados and tomatoes. I mean,
I
there's no
just looked at
bananas. There's no
bananas.
apples.
I just looked at bananas. It says they're alkaline. So whose chart are we using, by the way?
Well, and this is Dr. Young's chart
Oh,
because
Dr. Young. Okay.
he knew how to measure them, whereas the way they measure it, it's not right. He measured it correctly, and this guy's got testimonials, unbelievable, 96% success rate. Like from the judge's standpoint, from the lawyer's standpoint, the DA standpoint, they tried to tear this guy down. They couldn't. It was beautiful. That's how we met. Because they tried to take my guy down. The guy in this book, I Cure Cancer, Dr. Bernardo, he was teaching this PH thing all along. And all of a sudden, and then he passed away in 2008, may he rest in peace. He was my mentor. He taught me all this. So I just basically was like a guy that was in the forest with a guy who had the treasure map. And I didn't understand the treasure map because he's a scientist, but he just said, follow the darn treasure map and you'll help people. So that's what I did. I always had, that's what this book started as a little thing in the corner of my desktop, but people kept asking me after he passed away, they kept coming to me. So, and then this new guy, Dr. Young from PH Miracle, he just validated everything that Bernardo had done that I put in my book. And chapter 7 of I Cure Cancer is the one that has the diet and everything. And you don't have, I shouldn't have named it I Cure Cancer. I should have just said, I cure what ails you. And I make my next book that because it does everything at once. Once you stop being acidic, it cures everything. That's the basis of all disease. You become acidic. And that's from what you eat, what you think, what you breathe. It's everything. And this is what all fits in perfect with this tribe because everybody's so evolved in their head and they learn so much. Thanks to you, I call you the king of the intergalactic history, man. I mean, because we know where we really come from now, what's really going on here, more or less. And we never have before. So it's just amazing.
Yeah, you have to know where you come from to know where you're going. That's for sure. So other people, if you don't even know where you came from, you're not even interested in this kind of stuff. Okay? You're still, you're still wallowing around at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, lost.
Yeah. And to answer your original question, just off the cuff, I basically realized who were the Rothschilds. They have bosses. What is the Anunnaki? I don't understand. So I just dove into your work and everybody else's work. And I learned the most. I pretty much got it down my head. That's why I can't wait. I've interviewed you. I can't wait to interview you guys. You guys are interviewing me now, but I can't wait till we can turn this around because I'm so hungry for this knowledge. Like I said, it's time. This is time for us all to wake up and take responsibility in our own hands.
Yeah.
And I love your work, how you honed it down to the Enki's ites and the Enlilites as opposed to it's not so black and white because some people are like, is there aliens? Yes, but it's not so simple. There's more than one.
And they form alliances and they do all kinds of things to gain advantage over us meat-headed modems,
Yeah. Oh, and that's the best too. That we use that one too. My best friend Raul and I, you've probably seen him. We have a personal training and we help people that have been injured and stuff. And that's how we tell everybody: you're a meat modem. You are you're back and forth. It's awesome. It's a good way because it really is. Because the body, if you get a sore shoulder, you can look into it and find out. Oh, that's on the female side. That's the weight of my world's on the shoulders because of my girl or something. And we talk about it in the workout and then it's gone the next day. It's like we're relieving these energies as we go. Because the power of the mind is so much.
I wanted to say one other thing about cancer that I discovered in structure work is if you've got an area of your body where the connective tissue has been damaged, it generally gets handed over to the autonomic nervous system and not cared for very well. And those areas seem to be areas in the body when they're not under the sympathetic nervous system and you're using them that seem to be susceptible to unusual cell growth like cancer. I'll give you for an instance, okay, which is an area that's going to cause a lot of controversy, but I'm going to say it anyway. Okay. As a structural integrator, I have never, ever met a person whose thoracic region was free of impacts and adhesions along their ribs. Ever have I met one. Okay? Everybody's got adhesions in between their ribs and bumps and all kinds of stuff in here that's never been dealt with. Okay? So what I see happening is the medical system taking advantage of the stupidity of people that don't understand themselves, understand that the intercostals could possibly get adhered like that, but the rib cage could end up with costal condyle cartilage buckled in a way where they don't understand, and all this deviation in your structure. Okay? And then they go in and go, well, there's a lump right there. I just gave you a mastectomy. We're gonna check and see if you've got cancer, right? And this is what they're doing to people. And these lumps are everywhere. Okay, if you know what you're looking for, I can find one on anyone. Okay, that hasn't had structural work. So what do? Well, here's a lump right here. Feel that? We're gonna have to go in and biopsy that because it might be cancerous. And then they're in the system. Okay, listen. As soon as you cut through fascial layers with a knife, you've immediately fused that area with connective tissue that's going to turn into a scar that will never, ever be as malleable as it was before you just did that. You should never cut connective tissue if you can avoid it. That means no surgeries. Okay? So now I can extend that from your rib cage, and I can take that all over the human body. We are born in a random fascial state with a whole bunch of stuff glued in places that we don't own anymore, and makes it highly susceptible to disease. And I think the acidity in the body, a lot of times it, like uric acid and how it seems to seek out the extremities and such. Well, I think some of these acids and waste materials end up in the connective tissue body because, A, they're not innervated. They don't have blood vessels going in them. And they don't have an aqueous solution running through it in order to flush it out, okay? Especially if it's dried out and injured. Normal fascia, when it's working correctly, is kind of what we call a ground substance in it. It's somewhat moist and it's malleable. But over time, when it loses that, it's going to get hard as a rock. And that happens generally to everybody, okay? I mean, watch what happens when people get old. If their connective tissue hasn't been kept limber, it's going to be hard, and they're going to call it arthritis and all these other things, blah, blah, blah. It's unnecessary.
And it all stems from acidosis. All disease stems from acidosis, because basically what happens, I just learned this, it's all new biology by Dr. Robert Young, is that if our blood starts to become acidic, that's bad news. It can't move. It can't flow. And a lot of people say, "What are you talking about? pH? Oh, the blood pH can't move." Well, yeah, I know. Duh. I'm talking about the pH of your urine, which is just, as it turns out, is an observation of what your interstitial fluids would be of the interstitium, which is the new biology. Now, just recently there was a New York Times article admitting that this is going to be the answer to cancer. It's the interstitium, because it is, and I can prove it. This Christmas and New Year's, I was having ice cream and cookies and stuff. So I've got extra acid in me now, in my blood, and my blood's freaking out because it can't have that. So it gets drawn out into the interstitial fluids of the interstitium. So your blood, so you don't die, basically. And then it's up to you to get it out of those interstitial fluids out of you. If you don't, like I went for a sauna, I worked out, and it's boom, I'm clean. But if you don't, and then you have another party or another, and you just, every day is a party to most people compared to what I do. I'm pretty much alkaline. I eat alkaline, which is better than vegan. So, okay, so where am I going on this one? The interstitium and interstitial fluids. If you don't, they start pouring out into what you're exactly talking about, to these connective tissues and stuff. You could get, all of a sudden you get skin cancer, the most common one, because that's the easiest way to get toxins out of your body. I notice myself, when I'm being toxic, I'll get a boil. But, some people get skin cancer, or it'll go to your different joints. You get arthritis, go to your organs, you get the cancers. In the brain, you get the cancers. And it's all stems from acidosis, exactly what you're saying, which I always chimed with your structural integration and what you're doing, which kind of similar to what we do, but we do it during working out. It's all natural, it's all holistic, and it's amazing. This is the age of Aquarius, that the draconian age is over. Guys like you and me and Dr. Robert Young are here to bring in this new age of of the Aquarius. It's now humans get to heal each other and love each other. No more of this draconian stuff. That's why why I'm making space today, is explain to people. I've already explained to them the cancer world. Here's why your medical's bad, because of the Rothschilds. Who are the Rothschilds? Well, they are friends with the Rockefellers and Rothschilds. They're all friends, and they are the Illuminati. And once I learned who they were, and through all your work, then now I know who the gangsters are. It's just a gang. Who's got the biggest gang? The Rothschilds. As far as I know, it's the Rothschilds. I don't know a bigger gang than the Rothschilds, other than the Anunnaki. But really, I think we're all the Anunnaki. They made us, basically. They changed us, right?
We have become the hybrid species of the Anunnaki. We don't talk about that very much, but we certainly have.
Yeah, like I kind of harp a lot and point the finger, but I know I know I'm them. I got the reptilian brain, and I fight it to not go kill them. I'm trying to kill them with love, you know?
Yeah, I was glad to see you make the shift toward being the peaceful warrior as your community interface, because it's hard as a fighter when people are opposing you, because in the fight game, you're like, well, I just knock you down and you're out of my way. But that doesn't work in the spiritual realm very well, right? So you kind of have to be a little more tactful. But yeah.
And it's like jiu-jitsu, and it's more like jiu-jitsu. The spiritual side is you take the energy and you dance with it. You don't go against it.
Right,
right. And that's what I learned. I'm paying for it because I went against it. I named my book "I Cure Cancer" because I didn't know of anything. I don't lie, steal, or cheat naturally. Pretty much. I mean, I'm human, but you know what I'm saying? Like, so I thought I could just tell the truth.
Yeah.
I found out if you go alkaline. Yeah, if you go alkaline, you can cure yourself of cancer. 9 out of 10 people that Dr. Bernardo worked on over his 50, 60-year career, whatever it was, did. 9 out of 10 people, Dr. Robert Young's people, cure themselves of just by getting alkaline, because you don't die of cancer, you die of acidosis. So
I noticed some of the topical treatments that were coupling the pH changes with people included Cbd oil topically. Is that something you do too?
I've cured my own skin cancer. I swear, from the topical, and I've always just heard the THC is. I've never heard anybody cure their skin cancer with CBD only. I've heard it with high THC. Just so that's what I know. Maybe other people have. If they have, please get a hold of me, because I'm waiting to be able to. People ask me that all the time. Like, does CBD cure skin cancer like THC does? Like, I don't know. I've never had anybody tell me that yet. I can only tell you what they told me. And everybody that's put THC on some skin cancer has gone away, myself included. But you can also do it inside out. Inside out. They do it at the Gerson Clinic. The Gerson Clinic does it all the time. That's a great place to go to if you're loaded and you don't mind dropping the coin. To have people, bring you juices every couple hours and just baby you. I would do that if I won the lotto or something. But yeah, you can do it inside out too. I would do both. I would do inside and out.
I was curious. I probably should have found out earlier. What part of the country are you in?
Right now, I'm in Milwaukee. I'm back and forth from Ontario, Canada, where I'm from. Milwaukee, where I'm looking into open up sort of a personal training kind of concierge thing. I'm mainly a cancer coach, and I've always worked for free. If somebody can pay me, they can. But if they can't, I don't mind helping them. But I got to tell people the truth. If you can't afford, like, I only ask $200 one-time fee, and that's till you're free of whatever it is that you're trying to get rid of. But if you can't afford that, I don't know how you're going to be able to afford the, all the organic stuff you got to buy, this and that. But it's okay. I'll still be there for you. I get it. I understand what it's like to be tough. I'm still struggling. I never made it as a movie star. A lot of people think I'm huge. You look me up and it says I'm worth $6 million. Which is great, because I always wanted to be the $6 million man ever since I was a kid. That was my favorite guy, And but I know nothing. I mean, for Kickboxer 3, I got paid like $10,000. That's for 3 months worth of work. People think I was a multimillionaire after that. Like, no, they're B movies. So I never made it. I was always a worker. I worked. There was 2 years of my life where I didn't have to work. I could just act. But the rest I've had to be a worker. So. But it's all good. It made me stronger and tougher. Because, that's funny. This one story, I never thought anybody would care about it. But since I've been into this crowd, and because you guys are into, because we just tackled the medical. Okay, Rothschilds, Rockefellers, same bad people, right? I'm gonna lose my thought, am I? Oh, I think I'm going to lose my thought. Oh, I shouldn't be thinking negative. Sorry. But it was going to
Oh,
be, what were we talking about? Because it was correlating.
well, you were, I think you were leading into some areas that overlapped in the Anunnaki story that might have
Oh,
affected you.
Hollywood. My Hollywood story. I was
Right.
offered the Hollywood deal. That's right. I was offered the Hollywood deal in order, if I did the, went and hung out with these gay elderly producers, I would be the next. And I'm not going to name the names,
I
but
understand.
trust me, I would have been the next. And I said no to that. That's why I still struggle with finances. To this day, I struggle with finances because I never went to that next level. I was about to go to the A films, from B movie star to A movie star, and I couldn't do it. I said, sorry, I'm not even bi-curious. I'm not gonna mess around. It doesn't mean I'm not an actor. I'm a superhero. You're lucky I'm even hanging out with you right now.
That's how I was when I was approached by Hollywood. They really wanted me to tell this Anunnaki story. I wrote the whole screenplay. I called it Odyssey Key to hide the Anunnaki's names because somebody told me I had to, or they would just throw it out.
Oh, no kidding.
Blah, blah, blah.
I wondered why you did that.
Well,
interesting.
Well, actually, I have a crazy damn story about a liaison who contacted me from inside one of the American networks. I'm not going to name his name because I really kind of got the ass at him right now after what he put me through. Anyway, supposedly a ghostwriter contacted me. It was representing a competitive network to HBO. Let's just say that. I don't have to say anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up writing 30 episodes of 10 episodes per year for 3 years for the Odyssey Key. I don't know, kind of an expanded series instead of just a movie. It was like turned into a series. There was a lot more detail.
That's great.
But I kept the movie. But I kept the movie too, and so I could go. But the original was called Anunnaki Genesis, and it was 3 parts, a 3-part movie. So there was the Genesis part, and then there were some other parts that probably had to do with enslaving and destroying and some cycles and things, and then the 3rd part was to bring us right forward to where we are at right now, which is an area people don't really want to talk about. But and this one is if you talk about this kind of stuff, that's how you usually going to lose your YouTube channel or whatever. If you get this current into the decision cycle and start releasing this kind of information. In other words, what are the which ones are which of the Anunnaki, and what are they doing right now? Where are they at? And blah 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 blah. When you start doing that, you
did that happen to you? Because I've been waiting for your next show, but you nailed it down to Trump and all them, the family and everybody, and we know this. He's Rh negative. I mean, as soon as I knew it.
Oh my God. Well, the powers that be that make rules that say you can't say anything about them, that's how you know they're the ones in charge.
Right. And we all who know that is.
And that executive order just recently that even told the campuses they had to shut up, that they couldn't have free speech, that was signed by none other than Trump. And you know about what I'm talking about, right? I don't really want to say who it was on behalf, but when you realize who it was on behalf, it's the same old thing. And they're the ones that control all media and such. And so I got some bad marks. I got some bad marks on my last 2 videos, and I took it as a warning that you keep shooting off your mouth and we'll just shut you down completely. I'm not sure. Like that.
Yeah.
So I can usually tell.
I know it's called modern day book burning.
Mm-hmm.
Modern day book burning.
Yeah.
So I'm learning to fight them at their own game. Like, instead of naming I Cure Cancer 2, I'm naming it the pH, the alkaline pH program for fat loss and health. It's really I Cure Cancer 2, but I'm not gonna. You can't say that.
Well, you can. You did. They didn't stop you.
That's true. But I feel like if that shadow, I don't know if the shadow blocking. I know I've been. I haven't sold any. It's not like I became a bestseller overnight and got millions.
Yeah.
So I don't know if.
I know everybody thinks, oh, you write a book, you put it out there, you got to be, royalties for whole life of it. You can write a book and not even anybody buy it at all.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. There's a lot of competition.
supposedly they're shadow blocking books that talk about vaccinations and natural cures, and that's all mine's about. So I don't know, but it still gets getting out there thanks to grassroots, and that's why I'm glad to know this community now too, because you guys you're getting taken. You don't need to be going to Western medical doctors. All you got to do is get alkaline, and we do that with easy changes in our eating. It's not hard. And the things that are the power things that'll really help somebody to say, if you're super acidic right now and you want to get a jump on it, is the 4 salts, because this has the sodium bicarbonate, potassium bicarbonate, magnesium chloride, and calcium chloride. It's just
the bicarbonates are both bases that are going to take you more alkaline, huh?
Yeah, and especially if you cheated, I have a cheat meal once a week. So before and after that pizza and ice cream, I'm drinking the 4 salts because it's alkalizing me and helping. Because what happens, your pancreas and the kidneys or whatever, the liver, I don't know how it all works, but somehow that's got to make baking soda in your stomach. Because it turns out it's not the German way of thinking where it's acid, like a battery acid that melts your food down. You actually, the acid's a byproduct of the sodium bicarbonate that your stomach makes, because your stomach has to alkalize the food that's in it in order for your body to absorb it. And then by the time the stuff gets to the end, that's where the stem cells are created. And if you're eating the wrong foods, you're not getting, the stem cells aren't being created properly. They're being created by blood, I think. I forget how it works. Again, I'm not the scientist. I just know that, it's time to get alkaline, everybody, and most of your problems go away. And here's another thing. There's a great movie out right now called Game Changers. Have you seen it?
Game Changers?
Yeah. Oh my God. It's on Netflix. Anybody that's not a vegan right now, I can almost guarantee after you watch that movie, you will be. And it's not because you see Bambi getting slaughtered in the back or anything gross. You're going to learn the science about where we get our protein or our energy from the animals, because they got it from the plant. So we can just skip the animals and get it from the plant. And basically all we're doing is getting sunlight. That's the chlorophyll in the plants. That's what we run on, is the chlorophyll. We don't run on meat or sugar, anything like that. We run on light.
I just wrote it down. It's called Game Changers on Netflix.
Changers.
Okay.
Yeah, on Netflix. Right. That's a great first starter, okay? Because that's going to get anybody that's a filthy meat eater, which I was just a year ago. I just became vegan. You're one of the guys that helped me break the final thing, because you said, think about that dead animal in your stomach. It suffered its whole life for you. And because you look at we've all seen, Food Matters and those documentaries where they're getting slaughtered and it's just horrible what they do to them. So that in itself is bad to eat meat. But when you learn that this body was never intended to, these teeth, that wasn't.
No, these teeth, if you look at some of the people in India who've actually analyzed our dentures or our teeth and looked at our diet and our response, we're fruitarians, basically. We're vegetarian. We're not designed to gnaw flesh off bones and all the stuff that other animals do. We're not even close to that. And our intestinal system is designed for short duration, easy things to digest, like fruits and vegetables.
Yeah, some of the Anunnaki slave Bible, I call it the Bible, but the Anunnaki slave manual, the Bible, some of it says the greens are for you. That's your meat. The green is your meat. There's a few passages that talk about, I'm sure about the veganism and stuff.
Right.
And the Essenes were vegetarian. They said only eat meat and stuff if you were starving. You had nothing else to do, which makes sense. So, and now I understand that scientifically, and you will too, when you read any of Robert Young's work, PH Miracle. I mean, he explains it better than anybody. Yeah.
That's awesome. Do you think we hit people with enough stuff for today? Maybe tell them where they can find out about you so they can buy this book and not have to go through some shadow blocking alleys to get there before they get, have to pull out their nunchucks.
Yeah, before they actually take it down. It's on Amazon. It's called I Cure Cancer. Just call it.
Stick it up here so we can see it.
Learn how to turn your body into a cancer-free zone, and I Cure Cancer. And we get to that cancer-free zone by going alkaline. and it's sold on Amazon. It's by Ian Jacklin. There's 2 eye cure cancers. Turns out another guy wrote one and put it out at the same time. But I asked him and I talked to him, and I could tell he didn't do it on purpose. So, and he has a good book too. But mine is The Eye Cure Cancer by Ian Jacklin, and the movie's on YouTube.
And I
Archangel Studios.
I showed people your Facebook page. Do you have a website too?
Yeah, the website is icurecancer.com.
Okay.
For the cancer. And my production studio and everything else, and great supplements. You can get all these supplements from archangelstudios.org.
Okay.
And that's a perfect no. I remember that was my question that stimulated. You said we should get on a show together. I wanted to ask you, did the Anunnaki create the archangels, or are they from something else? Are they from source?
Maybe let's talk about archangels, a little bit of chemistry, and a couple other things that I have in mind for you on another show. Want to?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking about taking a potty break and calling this one good, because you really hit him with some good stuff tonight, Ian. I don't want to overwhelm people, but I want them to get your book, find out what you're doing, and support what you're doing too, because listen, the alternative healers, they're the ones you need to be seeking out. They're the ones that are not violating a Hippocratic oath of secretly under their breath and wanting to see you get worse instead of better, okay? Treating a symptom instead of finding a cure. So look up these alternative health people. Protect them too, because people are sneaking around trying to kill them and take them out of your networks. Just know that they represent a threat to the medical industry that we're both aware of, okay? So
send out your love and light. Send out your love and light. It works.
Absolutely.
It works.
Well, blessings to all of you. And thanks, Ian, for sharing your time with us and the people on Seventh Planet and Facebook and everywhere else that need to know this information. And I really appreciate you taking the time to take a stand for us alkalized battery meat modem mess ups, okay?
Pleasure's all mine. Thank you.
Love you, buddy. Talk to you soon.
Love you.
Okay,
Peace.
bye.
Why is it important for parents to take responsibility for structure problems at birth? It's simple: to enable the child to grow into a body that has a great chance of finding a relationship with gravity before the lumps and bruises of our material lives start disordering the fascia further. Our most effective role as a parent is to notice and fan the potential flames of what inspires our kids so they can experience it fully. Try the hat on, if you will, for the potential roles they will play in the future. This is how to empower them to be what they came here to be. Is your baby a gravity body baby?